Guys, good to have you here. This is Essay. Thanks for being here with me on my YouTube channel. So let's talk about this distinctive topic that is overdue. I know everybody talk about it in Nigeria. Let's just have our input here. Monetary policy. Nigeria and her monetary policy. There is no rocket science to this. It's simple. Like, one of the things I tell people is the government has a lot of stake, has a lot of influence in the stability of every society. A monetary policy is one of the major instruments any government would use to drive this. Nearly 100%. If you get your monetary policy right, that is the management of money within your system, you are like almost halfway done with the major work. So it is not a unit or a department or an institution that the federal government of any country should tamper with or undermine for any reason. Whoever is there as the governor of the CBN, that's why they say the governor of the CBN, or whatever it is called in any nation, should be someone with great instrumental goals. Yeah, should be someone with great goals, instrumental, very up to date with current monetary policies around the world, because sometimes to a very large extent all the monetary policies around the world are almost the same. What makes them differ is the way they are being executed, the way they are being instrumented. So let's go straight to what is monetary policy. They are, in layman's word, they are the instrument the federal government of any country use in monetary, the money aspect of the economy, and this has to do with exchange rate, bank deposits, the minimum deposit from bank, how banks are being established, like the minimum. So a lot of all activities circles around that. So everything that has to do with the exchange, we could see what is happening. If exchange rate increases, it has ripple effect on our economy in Nigeria. That's why we have inflation. I don't know if we've ever had anything called deflation in Nigeria, or if there has ever been an equilibrium. Okay, I know the government, the new president, is doing a lot on this particular topic now, on this particular yes, to ensure that yes, the CBN, the former CBN governor, has been suspended or whatever, and we don't know. A lot of I've seen a lot of speculations, memos on what they tend to do with the CBN henceforth. But the whole idea is that what has crippled the monetary policy of Nigeria for the longest of time is corruption. Yeah, bad governance and corruption, corrupt practices. I was reading something recently from Ben Bruce on social media about what is next for Nigeria, big guys or big guns like those in industry leaders, because sometimes people just go there and they get away with this. I would say Nigeria, the rich go away with almost everything. They do. They have their way in nearly everything, from manufacturing, production, distribution, because they cut corners. They have their way to go about all of this. But the poor people are left with, the ordinary people, the whole of the economy, they are left with what has been the remnants of what has been feasted on by the first class, or the elites of the country, and they struggle with all of that. And how long will that continue? If it continues like that, there would never be a stability, there would never be growth, and there would never be development. Don't forget, around the world, people know that Nigeria is blessed with rich human and natural resources. I decided to also talk about this because in our class recently, we're talking about monetary policy, also talking about emerging societies, and people around the world know that Nigeria is one of the populous, like Nigeria is the most populous African country with over 200 population citizens. And the question is, what are we doing with this population? Your population alone is enough for sustainability. Then what you now have to do is to put good economic policies in place, execute and implement them, so that money will go everywhere. But today, the average Nigerian, the cost of living as certified like by the United Nations, and for individual to live, Nigeria do not even meet it. The individual or the Nigerian Nigerian citizens do not meet it, so Nigeria is rated among those countries living below poverty or at poverty level. Nigeria do not have any problem, or they do not even have anything to do with poverty if we are able to utilize our rich human and natural resources. What am I driving at? I hope I'm making some sense. I don't know, but whatever you just think, put them in the comment section. We'd also look at it and take away from them. What do you think about the monetary policy in Nigeria? Was the federal government or was the president right to have suspended Emefiele? There are also speculations on what they want to do with the new CBN, with what they want to do with the rates. Is it parallel? That it will be parallel? There will be no discrepancy between market value and the black market. What do you think of them? Put them in the comment section so that we could also gain some insight from there. So what am I saying again? Essence, monetary policy, the federal government of Nigeria has to get it right. They have to see, if you have to send your people to the shores of other countries to know how they manage their resources, their wealth, their reserve, you have to do that. They do that, they come back. The whole alarming situation about the Nigerian economy, the elite, the politician, is they go outside of the country, they enjoy the wealth of the developed nation, they see the development infrastructure ongoing there, and still come back and we're left with almost nothing. Yes, at this stage, I understand that people will say, oh, Lagos State has a lot of resources from different revenue, which I totally agree. They're doing way below what they should have done. But I must also applaud them, because recently I just got in here. When I saw the bus system, I said, oh, this is indeed what Lagos State is trying to replicate, and putting buses, transit buses almost everywhere. Very good initiative and development. People must move, logistics, and it's a very good one, but I also have concerns about that. We'll talk about them eventually. So what am I trying to drive at? What am I trying to say in essence? The monetary policy of every country should be managed appropriately. The presidency should try as much as possible to be very objective in the management of the monetary policy of the CBN and the commercial banks. Like, I don't understand why it's even difficult for Nigeria to manage. And I understand that managing resources, managing human beings, it's not a walk in the park, but it is achievable with a structured environment, with a process-oriented environment. The sensitization of Nigeria has to begin with these institutions. Who is the head of affair? Who is at the helm of affair of these institutions? What are they bringing to the table? What are their subordinates learning from them? It is time to be accountable. Now it brings me back to a video I watched some time ago, shared to us by one of the teachers, for us to go and reflect on OKR's objectives and key Kiniko, and he said, one of the line that just got to my mind as I was talking this is that we are not getting the best from our government because of lack of accountability from the people and from the government. Nigeria should do well and ensure this is achieved. Yeah, I think am I making some sense, guys? This is where I dropped the curtain for now. We'll talk more about this subsequently, and if you have input, like ever, like always, put them in the comment section. I will get back to you on this. Again, I remember your girl is a topic Nigeria. From here, lending my voice the way I can, and I hope soon I'll meet a whole lot of you and we'll talk about it together. Nigeria shall be great again. Do have a very nice day. Bye.